you guys? Welcome back to Calling the Shots with Kiki
and Sarah.
And we have just such a creative episode for you guys.
Yeah.
I have not seen anybody do this yet.
Yeah, I have not either. I've seen like articles about like location, like geographically putting athletes into categories, but not the way we're doing it.
Yeah, we are going to be categorizing athletes based on where we think what district we think they would come from in the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Hunger Games is obviously huge right now.
Yes, it made a resurgence recently because of the prequel that came out.
Yeah, because of the villain origin story of President Snow.
Yeah.
You haven't seen the movie, have you?
I haven't. Have you seen it?
Twice.
Okay. See, here's the thing. I was into Hunger Games, but I wasn't like reading the books Die Hard. And
so I was psycho.
Yeah. I kind of had a feeling.
I've read all the books except actually Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is this movie that just came out. I've read like part of it, but I wasn't as into it, so I didn't finish that one. I read part of it knowing the movie would come out, saw it with my mom, was super good, saw it with my boyfriend, it was super good. It is like intense, but I love it. I read all the original books and was like, hooked.
I definitely went to like the premieres because that was like a thing for my family. We would go to premieres of movies. But I haven't watched them in forever, and I wish we would have came up with this idea sooner because I definitely would have gone back and like give myself a little bit of like a refresher.
100%. No, I sprung this on you yesterday.
Because I literally did so much research and preparation for this. Because I was like, I need to go back and like remember what districts have like specialties. Because we're kind of doing it based off of like personality.
Yeah.
And like vibes of like who we think fits in what district.
100% personality and vibes. Because if you're like me or my friends that are psycho into Hunger Games, you can look at the map of Pan Am and see like which districts line up with where because it's in the United States. So if you're from the United States, you can do that.
Yeah.
That being said, we're not doing it like that because we want to go off like...
We want a little more in depth.
Yeah, like there's nothing fun about just being like, and they're from there, so this is what they would be.
Yeah.
No, it has to be what we feel.
Yeah.
What we really think.
So yeah, I'd like dug deep. I was on like Reddit and Quora looking up like personality traits of different districts and like all these different things because I was like struggling for a few of them. So like it may take me a sec to like get there, but like full circle, I feel like they all make sense.
I'm actually very excited for you because this is going to take you down a Hunger Games rabbit hole.
Yeah. Honestly, doing all this research, I was like, I really need to watch it again. And honestly, I've wanted to see the new one. I just like I don't know, the movies haven't been a priority for me. So I need to go see it though.
No, you should see it in Utah. There's $5 Tuesdays at movie theaters. So you should honestly go on a Tuesday.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, you should like this coming Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. I was so excited about it that I watched all of the Hunger Games movies beforehand. And I like love that I did that, but I was kind of sad because then when the movie was done, I was like, I was like craving more Hunger Games content, and I was like, I've blown through it all.
Yeah.
Like, I already did it.
Yeah. And since it's a prequel, I'm like, maybe I watch it and then go back and watch the Hunger Games so it's, like, in order.
Yeah. I think that would be fun. My friends were like, I kind of wish I would have watched it first. But I'm like, honestly, it's kind of nice because you finish and you immediately want more. And you can just, like, have more.
It's true.
So, yeah. You'll have to watch and tell me what you think.
Yeah.
The book and the movie are... I mean, they do a good job, but, like, it is different, like, being inside his mind versus, like, you know, what the movie portrays because you can't, like, be inside his mind as much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but it's great. My TikTok algorithm was, like, cracking me up. It has so many funny Hunger Games TikToks. So.
I have seen all the ones, like, what's my district, who my, like, mentor would be.
Yes.
Who my partner would be.
There's, like, all these filters for Hunger Games right now.
Yeah.
People ranking, like, how hot each character is.
Yeah.
So funny.
Literally hilarious.
No, I love it so much.
We will dive into that.
We're going to get into
in
it.
a sec. How are you doing? How are things?
I'm doing good. Honestly, things are good. Do you feel like things get so hectic before the holidays, though?
Yeah.
I'm in my off season, and I feel like that.
Yeah.
I leave in like a week, basically, to go home. And I just feel like I have so much to do before I go home.
I kind of got that vibe when you texted me being like, okay, I just need to figure all this out. And I was like, it's going to be okay.
Poor Sarah. I'm like, okay, so I can record this Monday. And then after that, like, I can't until this day. But it was like so complicated because I feel like it's my off season, but I'm still working. But I'm also like, I don't know why I need to fix this. But also like, I have like cholesterol medication and stuff like that always get refilled in December. So I'm like, I have to go to the doctor for that, and I have to go to the dermatologist and whatever. And I'm like, I have to do these things before I leave. And still
Adulting.
Like, yes,
it's hard.
It's hard. And then we have like a schedule release coming up, which is like a really big project, and just like random things that I'm like, okay,
it's not really the off season.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm still working, but I do like have my weekends back pretty much.
That's nice.
Which is nice. And I'm in full force in my reading era.
Love that for you.
Yeah. Like as psycho as I was during my Hunger Games era, honestly. Like
I'm dead.
All I want to do is read. So that's fun.
Yeah, I'm not a reader. I never really have been. I'm like very dyslexic, and I think that's part of it. But there's so many ways to help with that now that I just need to like do it.
There really are a lot of ways for that.
And I just haven't.
It's hard. Again, time.
I'm not a big reader, but I also, time. But like audiobooks, I used to like audiobooks a ton. I would listen and read. It would like help me focus a little better.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, so I'd get both.
Oh, but, I like that, Sarah.
Yeah.
I really like
and
that.
Like my husband he loves Lord of the Rings. And so he just listened to the audiobooks of Lord of the Rings. And they're voiced by the dude who plays Gollum, if you know. And he like does the different voices for like each person and does like just a really good job. So it's like more entertaining.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I literally could not, I was listening to it all the time at work, whenever I was driving places, when I was at home. Like he was like, I was listening to it 24/7. And I was like, yeah, I need to get back into it, even if it's just like an audiobook.
100%. I feel like it helps. For me, I've like struggled because I'm like, I know that I like reading, but I only like reading when I'm super into the book.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where I am now, where I'm like, I just want to be with it 24/7. But also like, even this summer, I read like The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I was like, I'm not going to finish reading them. Yeah. I didn't love it as much.
Yeah.
So I'm reading like have you heard of like the ACOTAR series, A Court of Thorns and Roses? It's
yes.
Yeah, very popular. So I was like, I'm going to read that because I know my friends have read it. My sister's read it. She says she loves it. They all say they love it. Like, I'll read it. I'll to talk to about it. And I'm like, I'm really glad I did it. So
yeah,
I'm in.
I'm
invested.
I need to get into it. Proud of you. That's great.
Thank you. I got a Kindle for my birthday and I was like, this is who I'm going to become.
Fun. You're now a bookworm.
I am now a big bookworm. Yeah. So anyways, that's like what I've been doing. I'm decorating for Christmas and
Love that.
I said, all the other things. But what about you?
I did my own nails. I literally... This is the reaction I wanted. Why I haven't said anything to you about it.
I saw when you were typing and I almost complimented them like, wow, Sarah, I love that color.
I was so excited to talk to you about it. I literally did it yesterday and wanted to call you, but I was like, no, I need to do it on the podcast.
Yeah.
So that I can get that reaction. So on Black Friday, they had like a deal on Amazon for just like one of the little single finger light UV lights.
Yes.
But it came with like a kit with like tips because I don't like
short
the
nails.
Shape of my natural nails. They're all different, which is annoying. So I got the tip kit and it came with glue, and then I bought some like gel, like a pack of 6 different colors.
Fun.
And so I was like fully committed. I bought acetone and like cuticle clippers and like a clear coat. Like I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this, like we're just gonna go all in. So yesterday I finally had a day off, and so I spent like 3 hours figuring it out. But they look pretty good.
They look really good. You guys, I wish you could see Sarah's nails. Maybe go point them up to the camera.
I'm like,
something.
they're like a forest emerald green.
Yes, they're like a forest emerald green, and they're like sharp. Like, the tips look good. The shape is good.
Okay.
It's good.
I was struggling because I was like, oh, I got the coffin shape ones. I'm like, maybe I should just started with like normal, like square.
Yeah.
But I like how the coffin shape looks on me. So I just went for it and I was like, wait a sec. Now I have to like
figure it out.
Shape them. And I have a fingernail that's crooked because it came off. I have 2 actually. Anyways. And so those ones are crooked and I'm just dealing with it. But it's because my nail was crooked. So it's like not my fault.
Yeah. Also, nobody notices that except for you.
Yeah.
Nobody stares at it long enough to tell. We talked about this before, but I love doing my nails.
Yeah.
I feel like so creative and empowered doing my nails. It's
honestly, you've gotten so good at
these ones. I just had 2 that I like ripped off, but like I do love like doing little designs and stuff now. And like I had a while where I like just wasn't having a lot of time to do them and I wanted to put time into them. So then I just like didn't really do them. And then like a month or 2 later, I started doing them again, which is crazy for me. Like I've had my nails done since like 2018.
Yeah.
And in 2020, I started doing them myself. So I'm like 3.5. Whoa, that's crazy.
Yeah, I remember when you started doing that.
Yeah. So I love doing my nails. And I know everyone is like, I could never. But I'm like, but you could. It just takes time.
Yeah, it just takes time
to figure out.
And I don't know if I'll ever get to the point that you're at with like being able to do the designs, but I'm like, at least I can have like good, like shaped and like nicely polished nails and not have to just go get that. If I want something fancy done, like maybe I spend the money to go do it.
Totally.
Like get them done. But at least now, like the amount of money I spent is like worth one set of nails at a salon, and now I have the ability to do it like
that's
multiple times.
Isn't that like that's what's crazy to me?
So like if you just spend a little bit of money to like get the equipment, and I don't even have anything it's literally a single nail one.
Yeah.
And so that's what honestly takes the time, but
true.
It like worked, and it worked great.
I know.
And it was like very relaxing. I like watched my show and did it while I was
literally like my me time. Watch my show, do my nails.
Yeah.
Honestly, you'd be surprised though, like once you start doing it, eventually you're like, maybe I could like do tips or whatever. And then it's like, I've seen it happen with my friends, and now we like all a lot of us do them, and I'm like, you know what? I am saving money by doing this. So like I never feel bad when I have to buy it, or I'm like, I want this specific color. I have tons of colors. But I'm like, it's like a few bucks for a thing of gel for one color.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a lot more to go get your nails done.
Yeah.
So, wow. We love a self-sufficient woman.
So, that's like basically my biggest update is the fact that I did my nails myself. And my goal was to do it before we recorded because I was like, I want to show Kiki that I did it.
No, I am so proud of you, Sarah.
Thank you.
Wow, that's actually so awesome. This is so fun. Okay, so that's what's going on in our lives. And now for the world of sports.
Yeah.
I'm just pulling mine up. I thought
this NFL weekend was like interesting.
It was very interesting.
A lot happened.
A lot did. You guys have heard me say like, I'm kind of at the point where I do think the refs are favoring the Chiefs Chiefs and Eagles.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the Chiefs got a taste of their own medicine yesterday.
So did the Eagles. The Eagles lost too.
Yeah, the Eagles lost too.
But the Chiefs is where a lot of the tea happened.
A lot of the tea was with the Chiefs. Also the Eagles, I feel like maybe I just didn't watch that game enough, but they just like lost. They didn't like lose because of the refs.
Refs. This is
true. The Eagles are not. Oh my gosh, you guys! I'm so sorry. The Chiefs
played the Bills.
The Chiefs, aka Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift in the building.
Yeah,
they're playing the Bills. Okay, and
we've talked about Bills with Josh Allen. Also a pretty good team. I really like Josh Allen actually. Mm-hmm. He's like nice, but also like terrifying. I feel like he's like intense on the field. He's cool. That's the Bills quarterback. So anyways, the Chiefs though, like it's coming down. There's to like kind of coming down to the wire here. We're in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. I don't remember how much time's left on the clock, but not a lot. Maybe like a little over a minute or something like that. It's like their last chance to win it.
It's like do or die kind of score or lose.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs draw up this really fun play. So for your guys' reference, you don't you probably know this, honestly, but just in case, like, football is not your sport, we'll just give a little bit of context.
Yeah.
Where in football, like, obviously the quarterback is the one that throws the ball, but every now and then there's, like, trick plays
Yep.
where the quarterback can throw the ball to someone and then someone else can throw the ball.
Yeah.
But it gets, like, kind of complicated, whether it's, like, a lateral pass
Or behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, things like
Yeah.
that get, like, kind of complicated. So Patrick Mahomes throws it to Travis Kelce, who turns around, and because he's throwing it backwards, this is fine.
It's, legal to throw it
A backwards
pass.
He
It can't be
can't-
laterally or in front of him.
Yeah. It can be laterally if, again, you're, like, behind the line of scrimmage.
Yes.
Anyway, so he throws it to Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce turns around, throws a backwards pass to another receiver. And now I don't remember which receiver it is. So sorry. Anyways, that receiver catches it, runs it in for a touchdown. It's super fun. You don't see a lot of backwards passes.
Especially, at that level.
Yes, especially in the NFL. The
Yeah.
Chiefs are definitely known for being, like, more creative with their play calling, you could say. But, it was really exciting. They're all hyped about it. But there was a flag at the beginning of the play. As an offense and as a defense, there's basically a line. You have to stand on the line, and you can't pass that line.
Yeah.
Because, like, they each have their space, right? They put the
Until
ball down.
is spiked.
Until they snap the ball, you can't be over that line. The Chiefs players, they had someone on their team who was over that line.
Yes. Like, by a toe.
Like, by a toe, but also, like, noticeable.
Yes.
Like, there's a clear line on the broadcast.
Yes.
And his toes are clearly on
Over
it.
the-
Like,
yeah.
you can tell. Patrick Mahomes lost it.
Yeah.
Because they were he was over the line. That play doesn't count.
Yeah.
He was so upset.
Like, screaming at the refs, throwing his helmet, like, full on
Tantrum.
Yeah, I was like, do I say it? But, like, he was throwing a little bit of a tantrum.
Yeah, like, just by definition. I think if you literally looked up the definition of a tantrum, I'm not being biased here. That's just, he threw his helmet and was yelling. And I was like,
got in the refs' faces.
Got in the refs'
It was,
faces.
like, very...
And I can see being upset, totally. That's a bummer.
You're heated, but...
But what also really didn't sit well with me is, did you see, like, after every big game, not after every game ever in the history of sports, the players go up and, like, say good job, high five, whatever they do. The quarterbacks, like, always immediately find each other and say, like, hey,
shake
good
hands,
game.
give a hug.
Yeah.
Good game,
So quarterback Patrick Mahomes goes up to quarterback Josh Allen, and he immediately says that was such a bad call by the refs and that type of sentiment.
Gets explicit.
Yeah. You don't tend to do that. Like, Josh Allen didn't make the call.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of his players that was over the line of scrimmage.
Wasn't his fault.
It wasn't his fault whatsoever. I felt like that was just, to me, so unnecessary.
Yeah, very immature.
Very immature. Like, you can be pissed off all you want, but go up to the other team and say good job because they won the game, and maybe you shouldn't have let it come down to a call, honestly. And which was the correct call.
Yeah, it was the correct call. He even, like, got all upset in the post-game press conference and went off about how, like, I won't read the whole thing, but
the whole thing is so long.
To take greatness like that, to take away greatness like that for a guy like Travis Kelce, you want to see guys on the field decide the game.
Which, 100%. But, sir, you've had so many calls go your way.
Yeah, that's why I was like, he got upset in the postgame, so did Andy Reid, and it's like, guys, you've had so many calls go your way. Now you know what it feels like to not have it go your way. Did you see any of the other teams pouting like this?
Well, and it's like, it didn't go your way, and as much as you wish it would have, it shouldn't have.
It shouldn't have.
There's been plenty of calls that went the Chiefs' way that a lot of people think should not have.
That's what I'm saying.
And they've been controversial.
Yeah, and
this
like,
was
you don't
pretty
see
clear.
Those teams screaming at the refs and making it, I don't know.
It
did not sit well.
It was just drama for no reason, and I just did not to me, I just really, really didn't like him saying that to Josh Allen.
Me neither.
Josh Allen he's not the ref.
Yeah.
You want to get in the ref's face? Dramatic, but fine.
Yeah.
You're going to get in Josh Allen's face about that?
Still unprofessional. You shouldn't be getting in the ref's face.
He wasn't even on the field during that time. Like, Josh Allen's literally sitting watching on the sideline. You're just basically going up to him and saying, like, great, the refs bailed you out. Basically, that's a sentiment you're leaving. And that just doesn't sit well with me. So I didn't love it. That.
Just don't be a sore loser.
Don't be.
You know? I'm curious to see what Travis Kelce has to say about it. Because I haven't seen anything that he's really said anything. It's all Patrick Mahomes. And then there was, like, a little bit of Andy Reid being like, yeah, it sucked.
Yeah. I'm glad Travis Kelce, that's actually a good point. I am glad he hasn't said anything yet.
I am too. And I don't think it would be nearly as dramatic. Maybe it would, but I don't think he would go that far. But I'm curious to see what follows from this. So,
me too. Drama. Football. Okay, we're sticking with football really quick. We actually don't even have that much to update you guys on because we're just so excited about Hunger Games. But also, the biggest college football award, the Heisman Trophy,
was given out this past weekend. Mm-hmm. And the winner is LSU quarterback Jayden Daniels. Which was, like, also kind of a big deal because his team wasn't, like, the greatest. I think they had 3 losses on the season, but, like, his stats were just, like, undeniable. So it was well deserved.
Yeah.
And then when looking into this a little more, I thought it was really interesting. So he actually, before he went to LSU, he transferred to LSU from Arizona State, where he played 3 seasons. Arizona State's not very good at all. And a lot of that was blamed on him. And so he transferred and said, quote, "Just for my future, I decided to go somewhere else where I can reach into that untapped potential."
So he said that when he initially transferred?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure
so
my
when
timeline's
he initially
correct.
transferred, that was his statement. And ASU's players were not happy about it. They straight up, when they found out he was going into the transfer portal, which is what happens before you, like, can officially transfer to another school.
Yeah. They were not too happy and they let it show.
Yeah. They literally trashed his locker.
That's crazy.
And then we're, like, basically saying, like, yeah, he's not just the players, but, like, just the whole conversation around Jayden Daniels was that he's not going to make it past this level. He's not going to get drafted. He's not that good of a player. And for him to go and turn it around and have the season he did at LSU and then go on to win the Heisman, wild.
Yeah.
And, like, just makes the story even better. I'm like, man.
It does, because it makes it an underdog story where no one believed in you. But you believed in yourself.
I was like, they better be kicking themselves at ASU because you kind of just look dumb.
Like, speaking of just
unnecessary things.
Yeah.
So unnecessary.
So unnecessary. And, like, to me, just so sad because that's someone that used to be your teammate. And I think you should just root for those people in life. Like, you should root for people.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know why. Like, let's just not wish harm on anyone.
Yeah, just wish him, okay, I wish you the best. Like, your next, like, wherever you land. You know? You don't need to, like, be
bitter.
Petty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bitter and petty.
So, shout out to Jayden Daniels. You deserved it. So happy you won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's so exciting. Okay, finally, we're going to do our women's highlight.
Yeah. Just a little quick shout out to Iga.
Okay, everybody be patient with us. This is a difficult name for us. I
literally tried so many times. Okay, Iga Swiatek. She's a tennis player, and she won the WTA Player of the Year for the 2nd year in a row, which is crazy. That's, like, in the tennis world, that's a huge accolade.
Yeah.
She finished the season with 68 match wins, which is the most in a season since Serena Williams in 2013.
So a little context of how dominant that is.
Yeah. So shout out to her.
Yeah.
Happy for you. That's amazing. Another well-deserved award.
Yeah.
You know?
Very, extremely well-deserved. Yeah. So, yeah. Just a little shout out. Just a big shout out, honestly.
Yeah,
huge.
Honestly.
Because that's a really, again, yeah. We just talked about the biggest award in, like, college football, and that's huge in tennis. So, Congratulations. We love dominance being rewarded, like
Yeah.
outside of just being in the win column a million times.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay, Sarah,
The
are
moment
you
you've all
ready?
been waiting for.
The moment I've at least been waiting.
Honestly, yeah. I was like, Kiki's so excited for this, and I'm trying real hard to like bring my A game.
But
So-
once you start researching, didn't you like start getting excited?
Yes. Oh, for sure. I was excited from the get-go, but like I didn't realize what I was missing out on until
Yeah.
I did my research.
I know, right?
So,
First, to break down how we're going to do this, there's technically 13 districts.
Yeah.
Sarah took the odd, I took the even. There's also a game maker, the one who like controls and designs the Hunger Games
Yeah.
each year. And then there's a president, like
Yeah.
President Snow, if you've seen. So we've also assigned
Yeah.
people to those.
and then is there a person who like gives like a play-by-play of the Hunger Games?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Caesar Flickerman.
Yes. So we also have we have play-by-play as well.
Yeah, just some commentators.
Yeah.
But first, we did want to start with the Capitol.
Yeah.
The Capitol, if you have not seen Hunger Games, then you should. The Capitol does not fight.
Yeah.
So everyone else, I think it's ages like 8 to like 14 16, something like that.
Yeah.
Their like names are drawn and then they go into arena and fight till
Yeah.
the death until
Yeah.
one of them survives. The Capitol doesn't do that because they're capital children and
Yeah, they're like the royalty, you could say.
they're privileged because of where they live.
Yeah.
Which do you know where the Capitol geographically is on a
No.
map?
Where is it?
It's Utah.
That's funny.
I feel like that fits. I don't know why. I live in Utah. It's not a knock on Utah.
That's hilarious.
But to me, I'm just like, I just feel like Utah is very like keeping up with the trends. And
Yeah.
like, I'm just like,
That's true.
yeah. So it is in
Interesting.
Utah. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
But,
Anyways, so who we
we were struggling.
Yeah.
Because we're like, what athlete would be Capitol? And when it came down to it, we were like, I just don't think there's any athlete
or
that's
even
not
a
like
coach, because we consider
Yes.
coaches, we think they would all like step up and
be fighters.
be fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I turned to Sarah and I was like, you know who would be Capitol? Jackson Mahomes.
Literally, it fit to a T.
It fit
honestly.
to a T. Patrick Mahomes' brother. He's just
Entitled.
He's just annoying.
Yeah.
Like and you know, there's been some serious allegations which we're not going to deep dive
Yeah.
into that. But like he is not that guy.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like some guy that's gonna go out there and represent his district.
No, I don't
No.
see it. I
No.
see him as being Capitol.
So yeah, we pinned him as the capital.
Okay. But
Um,
now we'll get into the districts.
Okay, but wait, first the president. Do we want to
I
start
think-
there or end with them?
Okay, if you want to
I
actually, yeah,
feel
let's
like
set the scene.
Yeah, we set the scene a little bit. So in our hypothetical world, I came up with who the president would be, and in my head, he's not a liked person.
Who is this?
And so the president would be Urban Meyer.
That's so funny.
Because I just feel like he is a dominant kind of person. He has that like alpha dog personality, but he's used it in the wrong way.
yeah.
And people don't love him anymore for a lot of reasons. I have my own reasons, but we don't have to get into that. So Urban Meyer would be the president.
Okay, that's actually epic. That's so fitting. The game maker. So like we said, the game maker is the one who controls the games. Kind of, I feel like you have to be like a
Creative,
mastermind,
yeah.
creative guy for this.
Yeah.
Or woman. I went with a guy. But it's interesting because like in different series they take different roles. So like later on in the series, the game maker actually like turns against Capitol and ends up being good. But I feel like you have to be like really clever and just like have an interesting brain. So I went with Mike McDaniels, the Dolphins head coach.
Okay.
Was that on your list?
Yeah, it was on my list.
Dang it. I tried so hard to steer away from your list. Yours was first.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm so sorry, Sarah.
So we might pick him for 2 things.
Yeah, it's fine. He can be 2 things. The reason, though, yeah, he
'Cause
can
he's
totally
clever.
be 2
When
things.
you started explaining this, I was like, I'm feeling we're thinking of the same person.
That's actually
okay.
so funny. It's just because I think he would be so creative.
Yeah.
But then I could see him like turning against Capital being good.
Yeah.
So I think he'd be that type of games maker.
No, I agree. I
honestly,
think he fits.
He's such a unique personality that he fits in weird ways to a lot of things. So it doesn't surprise me. Sarah came up with hers and sent her list. But you know what it was? Is I saw your list and then I afterwards was like, oh, I'll do the game maker. But I didn't like
think about it. It's okay.
So sorry, Sarah.
It's all good. We're fine. My play-by-play. So our commentators for the games.
This is slam dunk easy.
I just said the Manning brothers because they have their Manning broadcasts for the NFL where they do their own commentary for the game. And I just think it would be so fitting. They're funny. They're witty.
They're hilarious.
I just think it would add a good little tidbit to it.
Yes. Super entertaining, honestly. In like a different way than the original Hunger Games announcers are. But just in a way that everyone would listen to them explain everything.
100%.
So yeah, I give them that for sure. Okay, who do you have for District 1? And we're gonna, just so these aren't like numbers associated with a person randomly, we'll give you
a little context.
A little context.
So like each district has a specialty in something they contribute to like overall society. And so District 1 though is like very high up. They're just like right below the Capitol in my brain.
Yeah.
They produce like luxury goods. They're very wealthy, and from like a young age, the kids are basically raised to become tribute, like to fight in the Hunger Games.
And it's like an honor. So they're called career tributes, where like it becomes their career to learn how to fight and then volunteer themselves.
Yeah.
Because when you win, you like become super rich. You get to visit the Capitol, you get a mansion. And so like the like early on districts, like the lower numbered districts, tend to have career tributes.
Yeah. And so in my head, this person is like, as we mentioned, maybe a little entitled, a little flashy because of their status. So my District 1 person is Caleb Williams.
Oh, that's funny.
Just because he just gives me the vibes where like he seems a little entitled with the whole like he wants partial ownership in an NFL team.
Whether or not that's true has been debated, but it's fitting for him.
It just feels like the vibes fit. He has a flashy car. He has lots of NIL deals and like all of this stuff, but he also like is pretty good, you know?
Yeah.
And so
he'd be a fighter.
I feel like he fits.
Have you seen Squid Games The Challenge?
No.
It's really good. It's on Netflix right now.
Yeah.
Do you know what the concept of Squid Games is? Squid Game The Challenge, you guys should watch. It's really good. You win like $4.5 million if you win everything.
I've seen this on TikTok.
Yeah.
I've seen like clips of it on TikTok.
Yeah, I know it's super interesting, but there's this dude on it. And I was watching him with my boyfriend. He was like, this dude screams Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
And he just fit everything you said.
Yeah.
If you ever watch it, you'll know who I mean.
Yes.
Anyway, that is so fitting.
Yeah, District 1 is Caleb Williams.
Yeah, okay, so that brings me to District 2. They're like the masonry hub, so they're like also like these bloodthirsty tributes. They also they're also career tributes, so they train for it.
Yeah.
Honestly, similar vibes to District 1. I won't get too much into it because all you need to know is similar vibes.
Yeah.
And for this one,
snobby.
yeah. But also like fighters.
Yeah.
So for this one, I put Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
I just feel like
100%.
I just feel like
no, that's great. Honestly, he could be either District 1 or 2.
He could be 1 or 2 because I feel like these people, first of all, like they're like more well kept. They care about how they look, but also they are like super intense.
Yeah.
And like a little flashy with their personalities and the things they say. Extremely confident in themselves. Like, and I just think that's Ronaldo written all over it.
Yeah. 100%. No, that's a good one.
So that's my District 2.
Okay. My District 3, so their specialty is technology. They happened, from what I read though, they're not as wealthy as District 1 and 2.
Yeah, it kind of varies.
But yeah, they're the really intelligent ones. They're like kind of the backbone behind a lot of the technology that happens in the society. And so because they're clever and stuff like that, that's where I had Mike McDaniels.
Oh, smart.
Because they also end up helping with the revolt and stuff like that.
See, and that's why I had him as one of the game makers,
so
because they help with it. So we're on the same
very
page.
Very fitting. Yeah, so that's who I had, just because he's like such an interesting dude. I feel like he's kind of a mastermind. So yeah, I feel like the vibes are very similar.
Yeah,
so
very
he was
similar
my
vibes.
District 3.
That's a good one. Okay, District 4 is the fisheries district. But when I've read about this, all you need to know about District 4 is if you've seen Hunger Games, Finnick is in District 4.
Yeah.
You guys, Finnick is the best character.
He really is.
He is literally the best character in the series.
Eye candy for sure.
Eye candy. He's like an attractive man, but also like
funny,
super good in the like he wins the Hunger Games himself when he goes in. He wins. He's smart. People like him. Yeah. Like he's a likable dude. Yeah. And so for that reason,
I'm so excited.
I chose Alex Morgan. Yeah. I feel like it's just, again, like, she's beautiful and successful, but strategic and smart and extremely does what she does at the, like at the highest level.
No, I think that was a great one.
So, and I just feel like Finnick and Alex Morgan are such lovable people. And so it just works.
No, it works 100%. Okay. So this one, District 5. Their specialty is power, electricity. They help run everything. But I went more based off of one of the like tributes from the Hunger Games, like in the movie.
Yeah, I like doing that.
So bear with me. I'm just gonna explain this so you have context of why I picked this person. So Katniss Everdeen, she's the main character. She nicknamed one of the tributes from District 5 Foxface. And she's the one who survived by stealing food from other tributes in order to keep herself alive. She was quick and witty, but ended up, like, her strategy for survival ended up killing her because she stole some berries from one of the other tributes that were poisonous, and she ate them, and she ended up dying.
Yes.
Very sad.
Very.
But keep that in mind. So based off of her and the fact that she stole food from people to survive, my District 5 person is Jim Harbaugh, the coach at Michigan.
That's so funny.
Because of the whole sign stealing scandal.
That's so funny, Sarah.
I was struggling and trying to think of like ways to like
tie it in. That's what's fun about this, is you have to get creative.
Yeah. So Jim Harbaugh, because of the sign stealing scandal, like he technically didn't steal the signs, but it was for the survival of his team and program, and he did it all to try to win it all, and it kind of fell apart. And yeah. Anyways, wow. So yeah, that's my District 5.
That's good. Okay, District 6. So they're the manufacturers of Panam's vehicles. So like cars, trains, hoverboards, whatever. So in my mind, I was like, okay, this has to be, because I don't feel like I know a ton about District 6. There was this whole thing with some like drug outbreak there, and I was like, well, that doesn't relate to like any athlete, so I'm like, we're not getting into that, so I'm gonna put that to the side.
There's a few districts that weren't super
but I was like, okay, I picture like someone who I could see working on like cars and trains and things like that, and I was like, who would this be? And to me it was Jason Kelce.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's rugged and very like, I would be like, oh, Jason Kelce's the type that would enjoy learning how to fix things. Yeah. Also, this district tends to like not just, he is like really intense, and I could see him killing a lot of people, but they're like strategic, and like that's not always like their plan, and I feel like he would be underrated for that. Yeah. But like he has so many different interests if you've seen his documentary, and I'm like, I could see him doing that.
Which is crazy, because I would have said Travis, because Travis is the car enthusiast. Did you know this? He
is the car enthusiast. Yeah, he actually invested in like the...
Yeah, and he has a lot of like, I don't know.
I
He has a
think
lot of
it's
different
probably
kinds
though
of cars.
because if you heard him talk about,
he
doesn't he's still
He
learning.
doesn't seem like he knows a lot of how to work on them.
I just
per
feel like
se.
if one of them was gonna be under my car fixing it, it would be Jason for some reason.
He definitely fits the look of
That's
a
I think
mechanic.
what it really is.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay, so District 7, they're like the lumber district, which again, for my sake, didn't really have a lot to do with why I picked this person.
Yeah.
If you know the tribute from the movie, her name was Joanna Mason.
Oh, yeah.
She was very like spunky.
Super outspoken,
super confident.
bold. I don't even know
say.
what you're saying. You're saying. I'm just supporting you in what
and so
the character's like.
So the person I picked is Shay Carey Richardson.
Yeah.
So she, if you don't know, is a track star for Team USA. She's broken a lot of records.
That's a good one.
She was also kind of controversial with some of the things that she's done, but she stuck to her guns. She stuck to who she was. She's very confident in what she does. Like a very strong woman.
Yes.
And Joanna gave that vibe, and so Shay Carey also gives that vibe.
Nailed it.
Okay.
Nailed it.
Because that was one that I was like, bro, I don't know.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
No, that is a really good one. This is another one where there's like, my next two, I'm kind of like, well, I'm trying to remember my next one. Oh, I remember actually. Never mind. Okay, District 8. So They are the producer of textiles, which I was like, what? So basically
like clothing?
Like clothing, but I'm like, what do you mean? Like they make the outfits for the peacekeepers. And honestly, it says like they don't make a lot of appearances in the Hunger Games franchise. But when Katniss is getting districts to rebel with her, this is the first district that like goes all in.
Nice.
So I was like, okay, what am I working with here? Because we don't have a lot of information, but I was like, honestly, I'm going to go with like, not like fashion, like crazy outspoken fashion, but like just someone who like I do think is fashionable and also someone who I feel like would step up for the cause. Yeah. And that's Suni Lee. So she is an Olympic gold medalist. Yes. And I just feel like she has really good, like just naturally good style. And like she is the type that like when it came down to it and Simone Biles wasn't competing, it was like, we need a gold for USA. Yeah. As an individual, she stepped up. And so I was like, I could see her being like, yeah, my district will follow yours. Yeah.
No, I think that's a great pick.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah.
I'm actually excited about my next two, but.
Yeah. My next one is similar in like District 9 isn't really talked about a lot. Yeah. They're technically the grain district, so they provide a lot of the food. Again, not really what I went based off of, but from what I've read, they're kind of not super well liked. They tend to be like not super nice, very standoffish. Like, they're not talked about a lot, but from what I could see, no one really likes them. They're kind of grumpy, kind of standoffish, kind of say things and you're like, what? So based off of that, my District 9 person is Kyrie Irving.
That's a good one.
Just because he's done some things, he said some things that don't
resonate with a lot of people.
And because of it, he's kind of like fallen off the map. Like, he's still relevant, but not super relevant. And because we don't talk about this district a lot, I felt like it was fitting. Yeah. So Kyrie was my District 9.
That's a good one. Yeah. That was... You had to work that one really well, but you did. Yeah. You did. So District 10, again, this is like another one. It's like we don't know a lot about it. There were no victors during like Katniss is the main character's timeline. And they're known to be killed early on. I was like, okay, that like doesn't really resonate with I feel like any athletes. Like no one like they're all fighters. They're all gonna like take care of business, I feel like. So I was like, I'm just gonna go the funny route. I just went Aaron Rodgers simply because
he got injured.
He got injured very early on into his Jets career.
Which is hilarious.
That is like
That's all I got.
That's all I got.
No, and I think it's fitting if you look at it from that standpoint. And that's kind of how I saw it. I was like, okay, whose careers kind of ended pretty quickly.
Yeah, and it's like not like
He'll be back.
obviously his career's been long, but I'm like, but with the Jets in particular, we're just gonna say Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Because he's still well known.
It's true. Okay, my next one, also District 11. They're known as the Agriculture District.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I went based off of the person that's well known in the movie, which is Rue. I don't know if you've seen, this is like the heartbreaker in the movie. Rue was like 12 years old and was put into the Hunger Games. And so she's very quiet, very reserved, but like still very clever and like is a very strong character and
True.
ends up like helping Katniss. She ends up dying. It's very sad. It's made everyone cry. But I'm going based off of her personality. The fact that like she was kind of quiet and reserved, but like ended up being like a super strong character.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, I have Naomi Osaka, the tennis player.
Yeah.
She has like been very not outspoken, but she's talked about how she's a little bit of an introvert and like isn't super out there about anything. And so because of that, I was like, I feel like that's fitting. I was trying to find maybe like a little bit of a shyer athlete, someone who still like is amazing at what they do, but doesn't really talk about it that much.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So yeah, Naomi Osaka.
Okay. No, I like that. I feel like we're on our final two districts, and I feel like these ones are like kind of special districts.
Yeah.
So I'm on to District 12, which kind of what happens with everything. So
Yeah.
District 12 is where like the movies originate. It's where the like Katniss and Peeta and Gale, and if you've seen the new movie, it's where Lucy is also from. Like it's very, to me, I'm like, this is like the main characters are from 12. But also at the same time, as much as it's like main character, I'm like, they don't give like off like I'm the main character type of energy. It just kind of like happens.
Yeah.
Like I think they're actually like pretty humble and like, but like just end up being really good.
Yeah.
I picked Tua Tagovailoa. I feel like he's the quarterback for the Dolphins, and I feel like he's someone that like people would rally behind, but there's a lot of people who have like said he's like overrated or like things like that where they just he's like had to prove himself a lot. And I just feel like it fits, and also I feel like he's just a likable good dude.
Yep.
And usually that's like what you get from 12, or like just good people that are like trying to do what's right.
Yeah.
So
no, I think that's an amazing pick.
I was like, there's a lot of pressure on District
12. Yeah, no, I think that's a solid pick for sure.
Thank you.
Okay. District 13. Very excited about this one. So from what I understand, people thought like it diminished after like the first revolt or whatever.
Yeah, so people basically like District 13 was assumed to be non-existent because in like the first rebellion where people rebelled against the Capitol, they were like, well, we just took out all of District 13.
Yeah.
But they're military and they secretly rebuilt underground without people knowing.
I'm so glad you described it because I would not have done it justice, and it perfectly describes this person. A sleeper pick, as you will.
Yeah.
Right? So because of that, the person I picked is Brock Purdy.
So good.
Because no one expected it.
Nobody did.
And he came out of nowhere.
Truly a surprise.
Kind of forgotten until all of a sudden he stepped up to the plate and has been literally might take the 49ers to a Super Bowl.
It straight up could be like his MVP odds are looking good for him right now.
If you didn't know, it's quarterback for the 49ers. I kind of already said that. But Brock Purdy, I felt like he is like literally described District 13 and I was like, Brock Purdy.
He is a difference maker.
Yeah.
He's a difference maker to me.
Yeah.
Like, and that's exactly like District 13 is where everyone goes like to start the rebellion. Like they need District 13.
Yeah.
The 49ers need Brock Purdy.
Yep.